Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This is assured to be my most hated top 10 list by far. Um, I get lots of comments about people saying they wish they could afford the notes that I have. And my argument is you probably can. I don't make a whole lot of money. I'm an Uber driver. Does that sound like a millionaire to you? No. But yet I've got a pretty decent collection. But you probably have the means to get the stuff that I've got. The problem is you've got it stored in other things, like, oh, I don't know, silver. um, Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. This is JB Bullion, or JM Bullion. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. And this is back in 1991. All I want to show you is the trajectory. For the last, I don't know how many years, you can see the silver price was hovering under $20, bouncing between $10 and $20. You can see this for years on end. Then you see this sharp increase. That is COVID. Okay, that was pretty easy to predict that was going to go up. The thing is, if you ignore COVID, and roughly 40% of the country is, then that means silver prices should still be in this level down here, somewhere between $10 and $20. Even on the high side, you're talking 18. And even if you want to give it a little bit of increase because of the economy and stuff, that still puts it at $18. The important thing to look at is look how high it was here and look at the trend. The trend is going down. The current price is $22.60 an ounce. Okay, most of you guys listen to silver dealers, and when silver hit this peak, you know what they told you to do? They told you to buy it. That's when I sold my stuff. This last peak, that was a cause from Russia invading Ukraine. And of course, now that's plummeting straight down again. Like I said, if you ignore COVID, like most of you have, silver should be at about 18 bucks per ounce. And some of you went out and bought at $28 an ounce and paid ridiculous premiums. So if you're sitting on a mountain of silver, let me show you the top 10 little neat comparisons that I found. Number 10. I don't have a whole lot of silver, but I sold just about all of it. Most of the stuff was just leftovers in a drawer or leftovers in my safety deposit box that I missed. One of the things I found was this. This is a silver to serve and protect firefighter commemorative medal thingy, whatever. And I thought this was 1 ounce of silver. And I got it assuming that it was 1 ounce of silver. Turns out it is 1 ounce, but it's only 70% silver. So right away, I lost out on this particular piece. How many silver rounds do you have that aren't silver? Be interesting to find out. This one still has silver, but the amount of silver that's in here is the equivalent of buying 4 silver quarters. So let's say you bought 4 silver quarters 2 years ago when silver was at its prime. You would have paid roughly $25 for 4 quarters when you start adding in the premiums and everything else. That's the equivalent of about 70% silver round like that. If you would have bought that in the prime, it would have cost you $25. Currently, this much silver is worth about $17, $18. If you would have instead spent that $25 on currency, you would have had a funny back. This particular funny back here, this is a 1934. You could have got a 1928 or a 1934. You could have got one in much better condition than this. This one I picked up for like $7 or something like that, but you can get a nice one for $20 to $25. So yeah, you could have got 4 silver quarters, which has plummeted from 25 to 18, or you could have gotten a really nice funny back. So that's number 10. Number 9. Let's say you didn't buy 1 ounce of junk silver. Let's say you bought 1 ounce of an actual silver round that says 999 fine silver on it. So you know you got 1 ounce of 995 fine silver. With the premiums, silver was $28 at one point, and on a generic round, people were charging $5, $6 per. So you're looking at $33 for this in its prime, just 2 years ago or so, a year and a half ago. $33 for a generic ounce. Well, what could have you gotten? Here's a $1 Hawaii certificate. Emergency currency from World War II. This was issued in Hawaii. It's got the brown seal. It's got the Hawaii stamps on the back. Hawaii stamp here as well. World War II currency. This book's out at roughly $35 or so. Back then, $30 to $35. It's up a little bit to about 40. How does that compare to that 1 ounce of generic silver? Well, like I said, you were talking about $33 with all the premiums a year and a half ago. Currently, it's about 24 bucks. So yeah, you went from 35 to 24. Or you could have had some emergency currency from World War II. That is number 9. Number 8. A lot of you guys like these, and I will scratch my head forever. I've got an ASE. This is a 2001 ASE, American Silver Eagle. Right there, American Silver Eagle. I actually won this in a giveaway. I didn't spend any money on it. An ASE. These have a premium on them. Silver was $28 an ounce. People were charging up to, and still are charging, upwards of $14 an ounce in premiums. Premium, $14 an ounce. 3 years ago, silver was $14 an ounce. Now the premium on silver is $14 an ounce? You're kidding me. Anyway, if you would have bought this a year and a half ago or so, you're talking about putting out $42 for this little piece of silver. 42 bucks. Whereas at the same time, you could have picked up a large size 1922 $1 silver certificate. This one here isn't in the greatest of shape. You can see right here they had it priced at like $35. So you could get one that's a little bit nicer if you spent up just a few more bucks. So yeah, $40 would have gotten you a 1922 large size. And when I say large size, you guys know what I mean by large size. Much bigger than that. Okay, so the large size, like I said, $40 or so. It's still $40, $45 right now. However, our ASE, that was $42. If you were to sell this today, silver's $22 an ounce, and the average dealer is not paying you $14 premium. They might give you $6 to $8 premium, somewhere in that neighborhood. Anyway, that's going to probably put you at about $28. So your 42 turned to 28. That is number 8 on the list. Number 7. Let's say you put away a roll of silver dimes. I've got a roll of silver dimes that I got from the bank, and I just didn't have the heart to get rid of it. I think it's cool that it's still contained in the bank wrapper, National Bank of Milwaukee. So yeah, I think that's cool. That's why I still have this. A roll of dimes in the prime of silver a year and a half ago. This would have cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $125 if you would have bought it back then. What could you have gotten for that same $125 price? You could have got a 1928 $1 red seal. These were the Puerto Rican issues. They only made about 1 million of them, and they only printed them for like 1 day. These go for about 125 bucks. When they're graded, they're a little more. This one had 195 on it, but you can get them for 125 or so. Even in the 125 stage, they're worth about 150 to 200 now. And what about that roll of dimes that was 125? Well, this is down to 90 bucks. So that is number 7. Number 6 on the list. I happen to still have, I found this under a strap. This is a 5-ounce silver bar. 1 5-ounce silver bar. In the prime, a year and a half ago, 5 ounces of silver, this was $165. $165 worth of silver when you include the $28 per ounce and when you include the premiums that people were charging for these. It is just generic, so it's not a gigantic premium, but it's a premium nonetheless. This $165 for the 5-ounce bar. What could you have gotten at the same time? Well, you could have got an 1899 Black Eagle. 1899 silver certificate. This Black Eagle could have been yours. One of the more beautiful notes, one of the last notes issued from the 19th century. The Black Eagle, You could have got it for about 165. It's going for about 175, 185 now. This particular one is a little more expensive because it's a little nicer shape. But if you got one in 20 or 25, that's what you're talking, 165. So yeah, you could have got the 5 ounces of silver for 165 or the Black Eagle for 165. This is now worth about 170, and this currently is worth $120 if you were to try to sell it right now. So yeah, another big loss. Next up, let's see. Let's go with 10 ounces. I sold all my 10-ounce bars. I don't have a 10-ounce bar. So a 10-ounce bar would be twice as much. A 10-ounce bar would run about $330 for a 10-ounce bar like this. Just a generic bar, 10-ounce generic bar. With all the premiums, you would have paid $330 a year and a half ago for that. What could you have gotten for that same price? Back then, you could have got a Martha. 1886 $1 silver certificate featuring Martha Washington. Martha Washington, this particular note is about $350 at the time. That's about the going rate, about $350 for an 1886 $1 silver certificate featuring the first note to ever feature an actual woman on the notes. Like I said, about $350 here. This was $330. It's currently $240 now. So from $330 to $240 if you had a 10-ounce bar. What if, for number 4, you went and bought a tube? You guys know what this is. This is a 21-ounce silver rounds. I told you I found this in my drawer. I put it up on eBay. I put it up for like $700 because everybody said silver is going to be $50 an ounce. Someone even said in 10 years silver is going to be $500 an ounce. They said that's insane. So you can still buy all 20 of these rounds for $700 from me if you want. The funny thing is that as crazy as that price sounds, this tube, a couple years back, like I said, a year and a half ago, when silver was $28 an ounce and you started adding in the premiums, you would have paid $660 for this tube. $660 if you listened to your silver dealer and bought silver just after the pandemic started. Yeah, that's what your silver dealer told you to do, to spend $660 on 21-ounce rounds. And a lot of you did, and I'm sorry you did that. I'm sorry you listened to your silver guy, because I can look at a chart and I can look at a newspaper and tell you why things are going that way. I don't know why they didn't. Anyway, this 20-ounce tube, $660 back then. What could you have bought for $660? This is my 1889 $5 silver certificate. This is my chief note. You could have easily gotten a chief note $5 silver certificate for $660. I paid about $400 for this one. You could have gotten one in equal, if not better, condition for $660 without a problem. This particular one, you guys saw my video when I got this graded. You know that the grade on this puts this at, what did I say, like $1,500, something ridiculous. But yeah. This could have been in your collection, but instead you got 20 generic silver rounds. And by the way, if you have 20 generic silver rounds, what can you sell them for today? Well, at 22 per, that would be $440, and even if you can get some of your premium back, you're still talking only $480. So yeah, $660 turned to $480, or my $400 turned into, what was it, $1,500? Yeah. That is number 3 on my list. Number 2, some of you are familiar with the box that you put these in. That would be a monster box, okay? A monster box holds 500 1-ounce, actually 500 ASEs, if I recall. 500 ounces of silver. ASEs, okay? I mean, this is insane, okay? Try doing the math on this. If the premium on one ASE is $14, how much is the premium? The premium on 500 ASEs. Well, 500 times 14, That's $7,000. $7,000 in premiums, okay? Now, we're not talking about the premium. We're not talking about the price of silver. We're talking about just the premium, because when you sell your silver, you don't get that premium entirely back. You may get a portion of it, but you don't get all of it. In fact, most dealers are paying probably $8 to $10 over spot, paying $8 to $10 over spot for these. That means you're going to be losing roughly $6 of that $14 every single time you sell one of those, and you've only got 500 of them, which means if silver didn't drop a penny, if silver was identical in price, the amount you'd lose in premiums, oh boy, the amount you'd lose in premiums would be equivalent to this. This is a 1923 poker chip, $10 legal tender poker chip. This is worth this is worth $3,000 according to the book. Like I said, that is the amount you lost in premiums, not because of silver depreciation, just in premiums. $3,000 is what that would have been. Okay, so that could have been yours if you didn't have to pay those ridiculous premiums and then get screwed when you resell them. I did skip one level. One level would be if this was full of ASEs, just this one particular one. Okay, this is actually number 3. That was number 2 on the list. If this was full of ASEs, you'd have 20 ASEs. And 20 ASEs with their premium, you are talking about $840 back then. 28 per plus the $14. And if you spent that much, you'd have $840 spent. What could you have gotten for $840? You could have got an 1880 Jackass Note. 1880 Jackass Note features the picture of that eagle. When you rotate that, looks like a donkey. So an 1880 Jackass Note. You could have picked this up for about $850. It's getting closer to $900 right now. So yeah, $850 for this, $840 for this. This is inching its way closer to $900, and this $840 little debacle. Once you take out what you're going to lose in premiums, and then you consider the drop in price, your $840 is now currently at about $560 if you take this to the shop and try to sell it. So yeah, $560 there. Okay, so that was actually number 3. Number 2 was the premiums on a monster box. That gets you the $10 poker chip. And like I said, the premiums on that monster box, that's not counting the price of silver. That's simply the premium. $14 times 500 versus, what did I say? $6 times 500. Yeah, that's all that is. That's the difference. If you lost $6 in premium per, which I'm sure you would. All right. Number 1 on my list. Let's say you actually did buy that monster box. So now you've got the 500, and I already covered the premiums. Silver dropped a little bit in price, like I said, from $28 an ounce down to $22 an ounce. So if you were sitting on a monster box full of ASEs that you bought prime time, let me show you just the depreciation on that. This is a $500 bill. Graded, you're talking about $1,700. This is a 1901 $10 legal tender. These are going for what, $1,300, $1,350 now? Yeah, about $1,350. Oh wait, there's more. How about an 1896 $5 educational silver certificate? Add that to the pile. Is there more? Oh yeah. How about an 1862 $1 legal tender? This is another $1,300 note. So that's gotta be it, right? Nope. You could also add to the pile a $10,000 gold certificate from 1900. That's probably another $1,500 on the stack. That, all of these notes, is how much money you have lost if you bought a monster box of ASEs a year and a half ago when silver was at its prime. That is what you would, this is what you lost. You still have the silver. Congratulations. You still have the silver. But this is what you lost out on by stacking silver during a pandemic. All of these. So you can do the math on that and figure out what it was. I've done the math on these already. Yeah, when a silver dealer tells you, buy, and then you watch some of these videos and go, I can't afford to get a $500 note. Well, you probably got a pile of silver sitting behind you that explains why you can't. I sold my silver as soon as they announced that there was a vaccine, because that's when silver tanked. My relatives inherited some coins, and I told them to hold on until Russia invaded. That's when it spiked up again. Now that seems to be old news. We'll be back down to $18 silver without a problem. Now, when it hits $18, yeah, feel free to buy it, but you're silly to buy silver right now. This is what your currency collection could have looked like if you didn't bother stacking silver. All right, that's what I've got for you guys this week. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on this one. It's not that I hate silver. It's I hate it when people tell you to spend your money on the wrong stuff. They're just going to tell you as it drops, oh, silver's on sale, while the value of your stack has dropped by a third. It should be illegal. I don't know why anybody trusts those guys. Thanks for trusting me. I appreciate it. I show you guys what I buy, what I find, and tell you what I paid for it, what I think it's worth. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you buy. It's just silly. All right, that's what I've got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments, and I'm sure there's going to be some doozies in this one. I've been waiting to make this video for a while. I just frankly don't have enough silver to show because there's no way I'm buying it. And like I said, this was my leftover stuff. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next week.